Clap on. That's probably so loud. I'm at this really wonderfully unique point in the day where the dogs are quiet, nobody's outside mowing the lawn yet, and you know what? It's time that we film a video. Welcome to the next video and You Market It. My name is Jonathan Strupek, founder of Strupek. We are a marketing company that specializes in paid search and paid social media, but we can help you with almost everything else in between. Today we're diving into Facebook audiences, how to set up your first audience, what a custom audience is, what a lookalike audience is, and how to get your ad in front of the right people. Let's get into it. I just realized that there's all these Pokemon cards back here. Don't mind me. That's a whole entire mess I'm gonna have to clean up later. Okay, anyway. Facebook audiences can be a very, very complicated topic. However, the point of this series is to keep things extremely high level, get you introduced, kind of dip your toe in a little bit, and get a feel for things. So today we're gonna go over how to build your first custom audience, how to build your first lookalike audience, go over a couple of the different types of audiences, and then how to implement those into your Facebook ads. So let's switch over to the webcam and jump right in. Okay, so we are inside Facebook Ads Manager, specifically in the audience side. Now, if you don't know how to navigate to this part, you're going to go into business.facebook.com. You're going to click the little hamburger menu, and yes, this is called a hamburger menu. You're going to click this, and 99% of you should have audiences as a shortcut here. If you don't, then you just scroll down a little bit under advertise, and audiences is right here, and you will be taken to this page. So if you don't have any audiences built yet, which is if you're watching this video, you probably don't, you're going to see a little drop down with like 3 or 4 different blue buttons on the side. But we're going to click create audience or create custom audience, which you'll see here. So lookalike and custom audience. I will not dive into special ad audiences. That's for like political based, housing, all these different ad markets. I do not specialize in that at all. So I will not cover this in this feature, this feature presentation. So first we're going to click custom audience. Now you're going to see a bunch of different options here. You're going to see different sources, including your website, which is everyone that has visited your website. Now you have to have your Facebook pixel installed for this to work. You can do app activity. So if you have the within Facebook, I think it's Facebook's SDK, that's a very developer term. If you have that line of code written and put into your app, you can then target people who have visited your app. You can upload your customer list, which we will get into. So if you have an email list or an order list, you can upload this information into Facebook and build audiences off of that. You can also do offline audiences, which we will not cover in this. So this is people who've interacted with your business, your store, over the phone, etc. And then you can also target and build audiences off of different Facebook-based sources. So people who have watched a video, who have interacted with a lead form, an instant experience, who have shopped through Facebook with you, interacted with your Instagram account, a Facebook event, interacted with your Facebook page, with your Facebook listings. These are all different things that you can build Facebook audiences off of. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start with website. This is the simplest, most easiest one to do, and is build an audience off of people who have visited your website. So if you have a pixel installed on your website, and if you look at my previous videos, if you're running Facebook ads, just general awareness ads, and you're driving traffic to your website, your pixel should be firing. You should be getting some introductory information on your customers, have a few people slowly coming to your website. This should be applicable to you. So you're going to click website and you're going to click next. Next, you're going to see from a drop-down menu the pixel that you have installed on your website. Green means go, and I have a 3-year-old, so we're, again, all of these different terms. But green means it's firing, it's currently good. And you can click this and select your appropriate pixel. You can then get a little bit more specific on different events that you'd like. So if you want to target people in general who have visited any part of your website, people who have visited specific part of your website, visitors by time spent on your website, from different events that you have installed on your website through the Facebook pixel. For this one, we're going to stick with all website visitors or people who visited specific pages. So you can click on this to select all website visitors. Now for retention, you can select anywhere from 30 to a maximum of 180 days visited. So you can hit anybody within that time, and this information will refresh, so it's a smart audience, so you can select, I only want to hit people who have visited in the last 30 days. So that would be if you're really wanting to keep the information fresh in front of people, you want to hit them over the head again with something, you want to reach those people again, you would do something like 30 days. But if you want to, say, hit a very broad audience, like this is just maybe a general awareness campaign you want to run for people who visited your website, just to get something, your name, your brand, your product in front of people again, you may select 180 days here. So for this, we'll just select 30 days. Now you can include more people, and you can select a whole different source, or you can exclude people. So this could be something where, we'll talk about in a second, if you have people who have visited one part of your website, maybe who have two different pages on your website you're testing, so I want people who have visited this and not this, etc. And all you'll do from here is you'll name it. So you'll do Strupek audience test, hit create audience, and that's it. It's set and ready to go. We will go into lookalike audiences in a minute, but let's go back into custom audiences, your website, and we're going to go to people who have visited specific pages. So you can go here and you can say, okay, I want people who have visited a very specific page. For e-commerce brands, this could be, I want somebody who have visited a very specific product, or I've visited somebody who may be a blog article, something very specific you want to reach around to, and you want to retarget them and hit them with something that's very specific. So if you have something like, I want somebody who has looked at this product, so if I have my URL contains, say, bar of soap. If that is in your URL, so it would be strupek.com/product/bar of soap if I sold bars of soap, which I don't. You would then say, okay, I want people who have only been to a URL on the website, the part of my website where the URL includes bar of soap. I would say, okay, great. I'm going to hit those people with that. Now, when you go to select your creative, or go to make your creative, you would then maybe create creative that says, hey, the bar of soap you visited, 30% off now. Don't use that specific language, but you get what I'm saying. You wouldn't want to show this specific, a bar of soap creative, to somebody who looked at a bottle of lotion, for example. It would make no sense for somebody who may not even know that you sell lotion to show them a bar of soap ad. This is the type of very nitty-gritty targeting that you can get into with Facebook. And then all you would do is the same thing here. You'd select a name, and you click Create Audience. Now, what you can do on that bar of soap, bottle of lotion line, if you want to exclude people, so let's say I want people who have visited specific pages, but I want a URL that contains bottle of lotion. I don't want people who are interested, or I'm showing the bar of soap ad to, so people who have visited strupek.com/product/bar of soap. I don't want people who have also visited strupek.com/product/bottle of lotion to see the ad. So I'm going to exclude them from that. And that could be if you want to get very, very specific, but that is the power of Facebook ads. Again, you'll click Create Audience Name, you'll hit Create Audience, and that audience will be good to go. The next one here is Customer List. This one is extremely valuable, kind of creepy, but extremely valuable. So you'll hit Customer List, and you'll select Next, and you'll go through step by step these different things, excuse my dog shaking, about all of these different options that you can go through. So the first thing you're going to want to do is download the file template from Facebook. So once you download the file template, this is what it will look like. I have it opened in Google Sheets. You can do that by downloading the file, dropping it into your Google Drive, double-clicking this file and say Open with Google Sheets. And this is an example of some of the information that you can include that Facebook recognizes. Again, you have all of that information here and one main identifier and more identifiers here if you want to say, okay, I want to include this information about my customers. Probably the most important information that you can do would be emails, maybe phone numbers, first and last name. Zip code is also very relevant as well. Country is very relevant. You don't need things like date of birth, gender, age. You can if it's something where, like, for example, if you're running a campaign that's very women focused, like say something around breast cancer, you may want to include things like gender, age, those types of things. But for most people, just include things like email, first and last name, zip code, country, state. That type of information will give Facebook more than enough information to know that this is who these people are, as well as where they live, and be able to build information around that, and be able to build an audience around that. So you'll go in, and all you'll do is from your audience list, you'll just copy and paste emails in here. You don't need email 3 times unless you know a customer has 2, 3, 4 different emails. You can include those, or 2 or 3 different phone numbers. Mobile ID, this is more than likely do not need this column at all. Just stay within the parameters that Facebook sets for these headers, and you will be good to go. And all you'll do is, once you're done, and you know what you need to do, you can also import this directly from MailChimp. That is an option. You will click next, and it will ask you the question is, does your list include a column for customer value? So this will allow you to essentially create a list around the perceived value of your customer. So if you know that your customer has spent $10,000 with you this year, you can include that type of information here, and Facebook can help build that. But for this, we're going to say no, we do not have that. You're going to click upload file, and you will upload a CSV into here, which we will do. So once you click this, it's then going to double check against the things that you have put in. So it knows, for example, that this is that email column. If you use the parameters that Facebook set, the email column appropriately maps to email, phone properly matches to phone number, FN properly matches to first name, etc., etc. You will click import and create. It's going to upload your information, and there you are. Now you can go and create an ad right off of this, a custom audience or a lookalike audience right off of this, but we're going to dive into another type of ad. Another popular retargeting method that people use when creating audiences is people who have viewed videos. Now, videos are king on Facebook and just in general. It's a reason why platforms like TikTok are super popular. One of the really popular retargeting methods that people use is they say, okay, I want to create, if I put out an ad that's a video ad, and it says, I want to hit people who have stayed and watched at least an X amount of percentage of the video. So this is obviously somebody who has watched or is invested enough. The ad has caught their attention. They know that they're maybe interested in it, didn't take action, maybe they forgot about it, they kept scrolling, those type of things. So what you can do is you can tell Facebook, okay, I want to hit people over the head that have watched the video for X amount of percentage of the way through, and this is how we set that up. So we'll go ahead and hit video and click next. So these are your different options. You can collect for people who have viewed for at least 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 25, 50, 75%. People who have viewed at least 15 seconds of your video. You can select whichever one you would like. Retention, this is, again, as it says, the number of days people will remain in your audience after they engage with it. So this is if you want to keep that very fresh, that audience that you're building very fresh, or potentially very stale. So you'll hit here and click here and you'll hit choose videos. These are videos that I have uploaded to a personal page that I manage, but you can click here and you can select, okay, I want it from a Facebook page, an Instagram business profile, a campaign, a video ID, and you can click here and select any of the pages that you manage. Again, this is all blurred because this is sensitive information. But we can potentially show this. This is an example of 3 videos that I have uploaded, and it gives you exactly based on what you've said, okay, 37 people have viewed at least 3 seconds of this random Facebook Live that I put out there. So I want to be able to retarget those people and show them something new. So I'm going to hit confirm. This is the video that I've selected. This is a Strupek video retarget test. And then hit create audience. And now you've created an audience that's going to continually pull for, I think we set 365 days for that video. And that is what people are going to be able, that's what the Facebook audience is going to continually pull from. Now, a lot of these other sources are very similar in how you can walk through them on what we just did with video. So this could be for lead form, you're just selecting a lead form that you've put together, an Instagram account people reacted with, events, Facebook page. These are very, very self-explanatory as they walk through them. So I strongly encourage you, if you want to try these, just go in, take a deep dive into these, walk through the steps. But for now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to build your first lookalike audience. So next, we're going to show you how to build a lookalike audience on Facebook. This is one of Facebook's most powerful tools in using the crazy algorithm that Facebook has, and how you can take your small pool of contacts, maybe you only have 100, 1,000 contacts, and you can expand that using Facebook's algorithm to build a massive audience of people who more than likely have very similar interests in what you're wanting to show. So for this, you're going to hit the drop down and create lookalike audience. So the first thing you're going to want to do is select the source of where we're going to tell Facebook this is the source, whether it's your email list audience that you made, the video views audience, your pixel data. This is what you're going to tell Facebook. I want you to take this, and then I want you to create a lookalike audience of how many millions of people, depending on where you target, and take that and build something brand new. So we'll click here, and we're going to go to other sources. And this is where you're going to see you can retarget based on pages, audiences, filters, pixels, etc. But for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to create a lookalike audience based on a custom audience that we have already made. So for one of these is going to be a custom audience based around the customer list, a lookalike audience, based around the customer list audience that we uploaded previously. So the first thing, after that, you're going to then select the region that you want to select. Now I'm based in the United States, so I am going to select and type in United States. Now here is where these percentages come in. These percentages means you want to build a lookalike audience based around this percentage of the population based around it. So 1% lookalike audience consists of the people most similar to your lookalike audience source. Increasing the percentage creates a bigger, broader audience. So as you can see, as you move it up, you go 5.4, 8.1, 10.8, 13.5, all the way up to 27 million. My suggestion, start with 1%. Always start with 1%. Start small, estimated reach is 2.7 million. You can go and create bigger numbers. You can always create multiple audiences. So you can create 1, 2, 3 lookalike audiences, but maybe you want to have this one be 5.4 million instead. Again, start small, start with 1, start 1%, and then hit create audience. Now what this will do, it's going to then start to slowly populate here. You're going to see populating here. It's going to take some time for Facebook to do that, but then you're going to take your list of 1,000 people and you're going to build a massive audience then of 2.7 million people based around what Facebook thinks is an appropriate lookalike. People who have shopped the way that your customers do, have bought similar things, live in similar regions, have similar jobs. These are very, very powerful tools that you can start to utilize right away. And again, it's the power of a Facebook lookalike audience. And then after that, using the tools and the videos that I've put out before, you then have this giant expanding list of audiences that once you get to the audience selection step, you can then start to select lookalike audiences, custom audiences, different things, and you'll be set to go. You'll have a much better, instead of just typing in based around interests, like interest in video games, interest in bars of soap or wherever, you will then have something that's a little bit more specific to your niche, to your customers. And this is the power of custom audiences. And that's it. And I say that's it because it's really just the tip of the iceberg, but that's it for right now. Eventually, I plan on making a little bit more of an advanced course and something that dives into one of these really awesome pieces of software that I use to help find custom audiences and help find audiences and people where they live and work, and it's a whole thing. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you stopping by. Remember, please drop a like, a comment, subscribe, anything like that. Again, if you need a little bit extra help, don't be afraid to reach out. DM me here, DM me on social media somewhere. All the links are down below, and I will hope to see you guys next week.